Fantastic. Thanks, James. Well, Outsiders fans will remember a couple of years ago how this program and The Spectator Australia brought to light the issue of your tax dollars, your money, going to fund terrorism in the Gaza Strip, Hamas and the Palestinian Authority via the United Nations Relief and Works Agency, which has the awkward name of Unrwa, UNRWA. This program pushed for it, and I'm pleased to say Julie Bishop, who was then Foreign Minister, got behind the idea, promoted in Parliament by Pauline Hanson and One Nation, and $10 million of your tax dollars were removed from funding UNRWA. The person who is predominantly behind that push, writing for The Spectator and appearing here on Outsiders, and then negotiating behind the scenes with the politicians to make this happen, was, of course, the President of the Australian Jewish Association and, coincidentally, a former Deputy Medical Secretary of the Australian Medical Association, Dr David Adler. David joins us now. How are you, David?
Great to be with you again, Rowan, and it's good to remember our occasional wins.
Absolutely. Well, you've, in the light of since then, of course, Trump was president. Since then, we've now in a situation where Biden has restored a lot of the funding, American funding, to the United Nations. You're very concerned. You've called this week on the Australian Jewish Association website for all Australian funding to stop. To tell us why. Explain.
Well, Unrwa is a terrible organisation. If there were an Olympic contest for the worst international agency, Unrwa would be in the running for the gold medal, I think. The corruption, the waste, but worse than that, it is not doing its job. It's anti-peace. It has been substantially influenced by Hamas and infiltrated. The teachers' union that looks after the education programs of Unrwa had an election with 11 executive positions. 11 out of 11 are now occupied by Hamas members. But there's been some important new information that's come out in the last week. We know their record of having Hamas weapons stored in some of their facilities, of having tunnels come out of some of their facilities, of having some of the most horrible content in their textbooks. But a very good NGO called UN Watch, run by our friend Hillel Neuer, did a survey, a study of the social media of some of the Unrwa teachers and other staff. And surprise, surprise, he has exposed over 100 examples of hate, of celebration of terrorism. One of them posted a video of Hitler during the Olympics. Another celebrated the Munich massacre of the Israeli team, and on and on. So
I'm just going to, David, I'm just going to interrupt you there. I just want to, so viewers get a really good idea of what we're talking about. I want to play you this clip, and you can see it on the AGA website. We've just cut it down, but it is of a school play which is basically teaching the kids to be terrorists and to murder Jews. And the claim that you're making is that Australian tax dollars are still funding this sort of garbage. Have a look. So this sort of filth, David, goes on and on. School kids being taught to be terrorists, being taught to kill Jews. You're saying stop all funding. Can this be done?
Well, President Trump did it for a while. Unfortunately, President Biden has restored the money flow. I think the average Australian would be very disturbed that our foreign aid is being used by an organisation that is not teaching peace. It's not teaching coexistence. It's actually teaching kids anti-Semitism, it's teaching them hatred, it's teaching them violence. The video that you've got on the screen is actually of a summer camp where the kids were recruited by Hamas and Palestinian Islamic Jihad out of the Unrwa schools. Now, our kids during summer camps might do sport, they might do music, they might do all sorts of other activities. I doubt that our children are being taught anywhere how to kill, how
Absolutely.
to undertake violence.
It's shocking stuff, David.